I want to talk a little bit more about how your company operates, Sparrow Websites. And of course, Justin and his team can really help you maximize and build out an excellent website because let's face it, it can get pretty complicated pretty quickly when you're trying
Mhm.
to build it out. But I want to talk a little bit about your onboarding process. One of the things that you mentioned to me is that you've automated about
Yep.
85% of your which that's amazing. That's amazing. If there's one thing any business owner out there knows, it's the smarter I can work, the better. Okay.
Yeah.
So what are some tips for automating that onboarding process? How are you doing that?
Well, before I say how we're doing it, let me just tell you how easy it is for business owners to do. Like everybody's got the contact form on their page, and somewhere in your editor, your developer, whoever's built your site, you can, instead of saying, after you submit this form, pop up this message or write this default message, you can change that to a redirect. So you can change it when someone fills out a form to redirect them to a next page, which again can be that like process page or your team page. Like, and it's this page, just take an existing page you have, duplicate it, and whatever the next thing is that before you even get the email and want them to call, what do you want them to know? Like, hey, awesome, man, we're so excited. Sally's going to be calling you, and here's our team. We're going to love it, and here's some recent projects. Like affirm, don't give them like conversion remorse. Like get them excited about that. Like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right, this is going to happen next. So anybody can do that. And right there's an automation. I mean, that's an automated next step connection with the customer. Maybe you have a form there that they need to fill out. Like, cool, hey, now that we're working on that project, tell me a little bit more about your house or where it's located or what the deal is or what the problem is. That right there's an automation. So for us, when people like sign up for a launch kit, I mean, we have to do some work, obviously setting up development service, connecting DNS, setting up the cloud, all of that nerd stuff. But it instantly, and unapologetically instantly sends them something that says, cool, hey, look, you just filled out we actually use text to almost like admit that it's an automation. Some people try and hide it, like, pause for 5 seconds and then send it. No, nobody's on that. If you're that much in your email, then you ain't doing work. But we send us something like, hey, cool, man, this is automated, but it's going to be pretty easy. Look, I need a little more details. And so we collect details about their business. What are they trying to accomplish with that website? Which is a huge thing. Again, is it conversion minded? Is it just brand building? How are you going to actually use that website? So we have a ton of automation from that first step of form collection to sending people, a link to schedule a call to review some demos and some high converting or beautiful websites in their industry. Now, again, we have to do some work on the back end, but I don't have to sit down and write an email and say, hey, Bill, thanks for this. And again, free candy out there. Most people don't even know that on their G Suite email accounts, you can go into settings, labs, and activate your canned response. You familiar with that? That canned response thing that Gmail and G Suite does?
You're referring to the autoresponder that says anything?
It's actually there's a canned response there. So there's auto response stuff you can do through like Gravity Forms or different services. But Google has this canned response where if I'm composing an email to Bill that just signed up, instead of writing it all out, I can actually like on the bottom right of your like G Suite or your Gmail, you just click the little 3 dots and canned responses, and you can save 20 canned responses.
Yeah.
They're real personal, and it again saves you. It's not quite an automation, it's just a really simplification.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Anything you can do, because that's an interesting point. One of the challenges you get into with automation is it loses that personal touch. I was actually reaching out to a guest for the show, pretty big guest. I was pretty excited to chat with him. And he initially declined because he said, Mark, this is clearly a copy and pasted request. It's not personal. I don't know if it's a good fit. And it ended up being a learning experience for me. And I ended up booking him because we had it led into an interesting conversation.
Nice.
But I really like that idea of the canned response in the G Suite, because you can have 20 kind of like customized, personalized messages, and then kind of that's really, really smart stuff, Justin. Love that.
I mean, when people ask us for like a real estate agent says, hey, cool. Hey, I'm interested in doing a website with you guys. Can I see some other sites you've done? I mean, I know the sites that are killing it and working really well. That's in a canned response, man. And I write the first, sentence or two, and then the rest of it is admittedly canned and unapologetically canned. We even joke with like there's a painter that we work with, for example. their automated response when you fill out like a request a quote form, we told him he's a pretty like he's known, he's a part of some national organizations. Like some people just work with this company because they want to say they know this guy, and he painted their house, and that's cool. But we actually made his auto response, and then to talk him into it, it says like, "Hey man, I just got your message. I heard my phone buzz, but honestly, my hands are covered in paint. There's no way I'm texting this back even right now. This is automated, but I'll get back to you when I can." And it's just kind of like fun, real. It's honest, but it's also automated and it's real.
Yeah, I like that. Sometimes I feel like people, like business owners, don't understand that we all understand that
Yeah.
that it's not really you talking to us, right?
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point.
It's kind of completely unrealistic, but yeah, any way you can scale, but also make things. I really like that painter example. That's really clever because it's a play off of the profession, and I mean, a reasonable person understands that any business owner is juggling a million things.
Exactly.
So that really makes sense. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Thank you so much for watching. I'm glad you enjoyed this episode. I got several other episodes right here for you. Smash one of these videos to make sure that you don't miss out on the tips, tools, and tactics of industry experts. Let's take that side hustle full time. Smash one of these links.